What is going on YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yocrates. This is your review for Real Housewives of Potomac, season 16, episode 2. Probably not gonna be here very long. So we pick up where we left off. I honestly thought they were going to rewind the conversation that Drew and Porsha were having, and how pretty much she was just lying about her birthday party and timeline. They didn't do that. It don't really matter. So she's asked, "Are you dating Dennis because y'all was booed up in matching outfits?" Drew says that she and Portia talked about it. Portia is kind of like, "Well, no, we really didn't, but I was invited to the party by Dennis. I couldn't come because I'd already, I guess, she didn't took off her makeup." She calls her next day. It came up in conversation, but Portia really doesn't care. I really don't care. I told y'all, like when I say we finna speed through some stuff, because I don't care. Like on some real, if we're not going to get the down and dirty of what's going on, though again, I don't care about Portia and its divorce, but unless we really finna get down to the thick of it, I don't care about Portia's scenes. If we not finna get into the thick of what's going on with Drew and Ralph, I don't care about Drew's scenes. It's really just that simple. Because I feel like all of this is manufactured for the show. Like there's some real in there, but it's manufactured for the show, and that's just how I feel. Anyway, Drew says that she's reached out to her many times. She opened up. She then talks about how she had opened up for Tamar Braxton, and Dennis saw it, gave her a great pitch, so she pretty much wants to work with him, and she would never like deal with someone's baby's daddy in an actual type of way. So Portia again says she doesn't care, but again, if you don't care, why are you doing all this and saying all this? But whatever. She calls her a low down, dirty individual, kind of referencing Nene there. I mean, don't like come up with your own stuff, though, sweetheart. Lets her know that I put you in go naked hair, and then as producer, she can break the fourth wall and says that you have been going behind my back to get Dennis to film with you. She called production, and so when I say she, Drew had called production and said that she was going to be filming a photo shoot for Go Naked, and Portia thing is, girl, you are a model, you don't get to do that. Now, with that, again, you don't care, but obviously you do. And the whole breaking of the fourth wall, I really don't think we really got anything there. Like, okay, she wants to film with your baby daddy, but if they're doing legit, I mean, again, if they're doing music, then she's gonna have to film with him if that's a part of her storyline. And now the whole trying to do a photo shoot with Go Naked hair, okay, now that right there, that I'll get Portia that one, but barely. Like that really like because the fourth wall break was her reaching out to production for these things, but her reaching out to production to film a photo shoot, they reach out to production when they're doing events and they have stuff that they want to get shot for the show. Just not everything makes it to the show, but okay, whatever, Portia. So that's the end of that. We formally get introduced to Angela. I'm not seeing it for Angela. I'm not. And again, her identity is cloaked in her husband, which says a whole lot, which says that you really don't have much to bring. Charles, we found out can cook and clean. He's upset that the kitchen wasn't clean when he walked in because Angela's daughter, I guess, did not clean it to his standard, is what it is. She lets us know that she owns a financial consulting company. She owns 5 properties that she is renovating and she's trying to sell, which appears that that is burdening her. And I mean, yeah, and if the stuff ain't done now with everything that's going on in the world right now, it might be difficult if parts and whatnot go up. She talks to her daughter about the night before, which is, I kind of feel a way about that, kind of bringing, you know, children into, grown folk stuff. And, Charles really don't want to hear it. And here's the thing, Charles is there because it's, y'all want me to film, so damn it, I'm going to film. I don't want to be here, but it is what it is. But Charles is one of those where you going to get what you going to get. I can appreciate that realness. Yes, I can. And he calls her out because she was saying how it was wrong of Drew to be trying to do work with Dennis and he calls the smooth out and talking about, so okay, well, you was doing some work with your ex boyfriend. Well, he was like straight got her, and it's like we could tell that he quick with it. So it's like, why you even try him? And he said it's always a well with supporter, and I'm like, I guess he the breakout star because I don't know why Angela here. And then she was like, "Well, I'm just saying, like, if Charles was to be my ex, I wouldn't want my friends, trying to work." He was like, "I wouldn't want to deal with those lames." When I tell you, Charles ain't here for it, and I appreciate it. So we get Kenya and Porsha. This was a breath of fresh air. They're in a better place. Kenya mentions, her meeting with Drew a few days before. Porsha says that, in reference to music, Dennis did do a kids album for their daughter. Um, Portia claims that she went off because she found out that Drew was trying to film with Dennis without telling her. They talk about Simon. I really don't care. It's just that Portia, because Kenya was like, "So you are the fourth wife," and she's like, "No, I'm the fifth wife," because there was another one that came out, but it was a fake marriage. So you the fourth wife. Anyway, we get Kelly. She's in this restaurant space and she's trying to open up by mid July. They're a month out. Her ex husband, we found out, had closed down their Conyers location. Her project manager is letting her know that they're not going to make the timeline for the grand opening and that they are in jeopardy. But Kelly says that it's going to work. We get to Brett. I don't like Brett. She and Mike got married during COVID. We find out that he was her first client. Angela's mom, Britt, is there. There's pretty much, from what I was able to ascertain, has a house close by. They just gonna do a real quick basic reno because doing more is costing them, and then sell that and then move their her mom in, and then eventually use that money from, I guess, selling her mom's place to go into them finding their forever home. And Britt wants a baby. So we get Shamia. She meets with Shadina, who was her surrogate. We find out that at 32 weeks, her surrogate was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it was very aggressive. And because it was so aggressive, Shiloh had to pretty much be, delivered immediately. And they talk about whether or not it was the breast cancer and the complications that might have affected Shiloh. But even Shadina was just like, everything works out, for a reason, for the greater good. Because had I not, been carrying, I wouldn't have been checking my breast as frequently. Which mean and that is a good thing that she was doing it, because again, if when they found it, it was already at an aggressive state. Probably trying to deliver that baby probably would have taken her out, right? So Shamia lets us know she had a ectopic pregnancy, which is sad. We find out she still has 4 embryos left, 2 boys, 2 girls, and Shadina knows someone who might be able to help her with the carrying process. We get Kelly and Brett. Brett wants to know about, I'm sorry, Brett wants to have a ceremony because, they pretty much had a COVID Zoom type of wedding. So an official ceremony, which, okay, probably try to get production to pay for it. They talk about the Drew and Porsha drama, don't care. Brett brings up Kenya's comment because she's going to stay and harp on this. Like, she found the bone and she is just going to hold on to this bone. Kelly says that with her divorce, that was cheating. Found out that her husband had taken over $500K out of her business account. Their situation had gotten so toxic that it gotten physical, which we all kind of was able to piece that together. Found that the police were called. There were points where she had to sleep in her closet. And, we're probably going to get more from that. I would just like for Kelly to pace this part of her story out and even try to pivot and do what Karen did on Potomac and try to be an ambassador. Like, if she's really going to dive into it, for domestic violence and all of that other stuff, like trying to be a spokesperson for that type of thing. How Karen was getting ahead of what she had went through in her past. So we get Drew, Angela, and Shamia at the gym. I'ma just sum it up like this: Ralph has taken large sums of Drew's money, let Drew tell it, wants alimony, and wants parts of her business endeavors. Angela felt that Shamia asked her question for Porsha and claims that, you know, Shamia was being Portia's assistant. Shamia whole thing is like that, like, okay, you gonna let me speak and you got all this mouth now, but you didn't have all this mouth the other day. And pretty much they got nowhere with that. And Drew called Shamia a lapdog in her interview, but not to Shamia's face. And then we end with Portia and Dennis with Pilar at a little play area. And her biggest thing is ultimately is she doesn't want her and Dennis to have a spat, and then Dennis used this platform to spray her. But again, it is what it is. And she's saying that she's already going through a lot. And my thing is this: save me with your tears. Save it. Because a lot of the issue, here's a word for y'all. A lot of the stuff that we go through is things that we either physically create or we've called to ourselves by the words that we speak. But we want to blame it on someone or something else when it's our fault that it's even in our lives in the first damn place. So you got all this because of what you did, and what you not finna do is, even if the Drew situation is real, we not finna equate you stealing somebody's whole husband to somebody potentially sleeping with your baby daddy. Miss me. Anyway, that's the review. That's all I got. We're gonna be at Terrence's house tomorrow. Rate, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see y'all then. All right, peace out.